All right, hello guys. Hopefully everything is up and running in the usual fashion of this show. Right before I started the show, things seem to go a little wonky. So it appears that we are up and running and in good shape right now. So I'll just carry on as if everything is working. Hello guys, it is Saturday, once again, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that means it's time for me to spend my weekly time with you guys, hanging out here live on YouTube, answering questions, and talking about various filmmaking topics. And today what we've got on the docket is we're going to be talking about LUTs, sort of what LUTs are, how to use them, sort of how not to use them, how I use them in my workflow, and also a bit about some of my favorite LUTs. There are LUT packs out there available on the internet, some for free, some you have to pay, but there's a lot of good ones out there, and I want to show you guys some of my favorites. So let's start off. Oh, I haven't even introduced myself for those of you who might not already know who I am. So let me go ahead and do that now. I am Bart Johnson. I'm a cinematographer and obviously YouTuber based in the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And yeah, this is what I do. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and joining. If you are here live in the chat, I have the ability to pop our chat, I think, yep, up on the screen there. I can see we have our friends here from the Forge Studios. Not sure who it is on the Forge Studios account. Maybe it's you, Ron, but thanks for popping in and saying hello. So guys, feel free to comment all throughout the video. This is live, so that's part of the fun of live, is that we can hang out and have some live communication back and forth, and you get your name featured here on the screen, so everybody will be able to see your comments and we can have some conversations there. So guys, we're gonna start off really talking about what LUTs are. So LUTs, L-U-T, it literally stands for look up table. And what this is it's a small, basically, data file that includes a set of instructions that tells your editing or color grading program or software, it tells it how to interpret certain values in your footage, what to do to it to give it a different end result. And so the way that they work is, say you shoot, you shot some flat log footage. And I encourage you to check out the live stream we did a few weeks ago actually on log footage, whether you should or should not shoot in log. So I'll put a card for you guys so you can go ahead and check that one out. But if you shot log or flat, that's usually where people end up using LUTs because you want to grade that footage to make it look good in the end. So what a LUT does is there are LUTs designed for various camera profiles and cameras themselves, but what you do is you get a LUT that's made for the footage that you shot in log, and what it's going to say, it's going to tell your software program, it's going to say, okay, when you see these values, these color values, these luminance values in this footage, do this set of instructions and output this color. So what it ends up doing is it takes all the information in that scene, in that image, in your video file, and interprets it, and usually it spits out a nice colorized, whether it be just a Rec 709 or whether it be a stylized look, if you're not going for necessarily true to life, but the LUT does it all automatically, which is cool. Which makes them amazing for time saving. You can drop these things on there and get your footage, I would say 80 to 90% of the way, because we're going to talk about how they're a no-no as a one-click solution, because every shot is different, so they do need a little bit more love. But guys, let's go ahead here. I'm actually going to open up our Adobe Premiere. Pull this up. I've got some footage loaded up here for you guys already. Let's get it so that you guys can see my screen here. So we've got Adobe Premiere open. I know it's not the most powerful color editing program in the world, but they have been adding a lot of new features into Premiere in terms of their Lumetri panel, the color panel, and you can use LUTs in here, and you can do some pretty decent grading. I do have DaVinci Resolve. I don't have the newest version, but I will admit I haven't ever really touched Resolve. I know I need to learn Resolve and all that, but for today at least, we're gonna stick with what I know. So we're gonna stick with Adobe Premiere, and I think this is probably one of the most common platforms out there. Okay, enough talking about Premiere. Let's get to work here. So here I have some footage. This is actually some awesome footage that I shot on my Ursa Mini from Blackmagic, 4.6K. And this is actually from the 300D, the Aputure 300D lighting test that I did a few weeks ago. That video just released this week, so guys, make sure you can go check that thing out because we got some awesome test results in there. I'll put a card up for that one as well so you guys can check it out. But we have some footage here. So this is shot in the Blackmagic Design film. So it's a very flat image. It's really, really cool looking image. But yeah, this is not what I want my final image to look like. You know, it's a little washed out. And so we can go ahead and we can apply a LUT to this and start getting it to the way we want it to look. So the way we're gonna do that in Premiere here is I have my clip. I'm gonna go up here to the color tab. And here we go. This opens up our color window for Adobe Premiere. So we have our clip right here, and then over here we have basically all the stuff we want to do. So I'm sure you're familiar, you know, you can change the color temperature values, you can adjust the tint, exposure, contrast, you can do all these things in here. But if you look right up here, right at the top, it has input LUT, and right now it says none. What you can do is click this drop down, and you can see actually Premiere has some already preloaded LUTs in here for various cameras. So they got something for the Alexa. Sorry, I don't have an Alexa. Some more ARRI stuff. A Phantom, like, is that a Phantom Flex or is that? I'm assuming that's a DJI Phantom. But they've got a few in there. But I have cultivated a giant library of my own LUTs. So let's go ahead and find those, and I'll show you guys how this works. So we go to Browse here. Let's see here. We'll go to my Drobo where I keep stuff. Looks and LUTs. As you can see, I have all of my stuff in here. I've gone a bit crazy with collecting these over the years, but I'll share with you guys some of my favorite ones later. So we are talking Blackmagic, and let's see here. I've got some from some different people. I'm going to go with good old Tom Antos. We're going to talk about him a little bit more later, but he's got a nice 4.6K film to Rec 709. So let's just click open, and boom, that automatically gets applied to our footage. So you can see it looks a bit more saturated, it's a bit punchier. Let me bring it up full screen for you guys. So it's got a little bit more color, and it looks pretty good, but like I said, it's not quite exactly what I want. And that's a key thing. I want you guys to know this. We'll come back here so that I can really drive this information home. While LUTs are fantastic and time-saving and great, they are not and should not be used as a one-click solution. Even though they are designed for specific cameras, for specific profiles on those cameras, every shot is different. You know, whether it be the lighting, whether it be the color values or anything, every single shot is different. So every single shot needs a little bit of love after applying that LUT to really get it to the way you want it. So even dropping just a LUT on shots all from the same camera, you're going to get different results because it doesn't know the variations. It doesn't know what you want your final image to look like. It only knows that set of instructions that are included in it. So don't make them a one-click solution, guys. All right, my preaching is over on that. Let's go back in here and see what we've got, and we can bring this, this thing really to life here. So here we go. So we've got that LUT applied. So here we go. If we toggle it on and off, you can definitely see the difference that it made. And it's getting our shot looking pretty good. But I want to do a few other things to this one. And this is where it's all personal preference, guys. So what I want to do, I do like the color scheme here. So I'm not, maybe I can warm it up a little. No, I'm not liking that. What I'm going to do is bring that back, but I'm going to bring it a little bit more magenta, ditch some of that green that was in there. Really makes this rope sort of pop out. And then what I really want to do is I want to add some more contrast to this. So there we go. I'm actually jacking it up quite a bit. So, you know, I can go crazy with this. So, you know, you can bring up and drop your shadows. Ooh, actually, I like that. Let's drop the shadows a little bit. Really, really focusing on this guy right here. And let's see, saturation, I can drop it or boost. I don't want to go too crazy with it, so actually let's leave it there. So this is not a professional grade, guys. This is just quick and dirty. I am by no means a color expert, but I'm just doing this by eye, taking a look at it, and you know what? I kind of dig the way this shot looks, you know, with that color grading applied. I think it looks pretty good. I'm sure some color purists would say that, oh, I've done it so wrong and blah 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 and all that, but you know what, this is just for demonstration purposes, so if you want to slam me for my process, feel free, but this gives you an idea there. So there we go. That was a quick and dirty one right there, but I do have some other stuff that I want to show you guys. So let's go back to editing CS 5.5 here. Okay, so that was the Ursa Mini. Now, like I said, there are LUTs for all sorts of cameras out there, and all sorts of camera profiles. So let's take a look at another one and start having a little bit of fun with it. So here we go. We got GH5. So here's some GH5 footage. Let me bring it up on them both here. Here's some GH5 footage I shot. This is some of the first stuff I actually shot with the GH5 when I first got it. I took it out to Sedona, Arizona. Awesome, awesome place. And was playing around with it. So this is some 180 frames per second, I believe, footage that I got. So if you take a look, so let me play this one here. If you take a look, you know, I got this cyclist going by. It's a pretty cool shot. I was pretty proud of it, not gonna lie. But I did shoot it in Vlog. So as it being, you know, Vlog, what that means is that it's very flat. It needs some color work. So let's go ahead and let's do some color work to it. So let's go to our color panel. And here we go. I'm going to do the same kind of deal. We're going to take an input LUT. We're going to go through here. We're going to go through all of my insanity there with my huge hoarding of LUTs. Who am I looking for? Panasonic. Okay, so let's see here. I've got a few for the GH5. So I've got good old Tom Antos again, but I know the one that I used on this was a really stylized kind of look. And I liked it. So let's go. That came from Newman Films. They made some great stuff. So let's see here. We've got the LUTs. I shot this in Vlog. So look at this, guys. I mean, they make a LUT pack, so if you shot in Cine Like D, Cine Like V, natural, portrait, Vlog, you know, it doesn't always have to be log footage that you're applying LUTs to, because you can get looks even if you just shot natural and whatever. You just gotta get the LUTs. So I believe the one that I used was this crazy one he calls Brownie Man. So let's go ahead and open up that one. Boom. And that is crazy looking. So obviously this is not what it looked like in real life, guys. But you know, it gives it this sort of stylized look. It's very orange and teal. You know, this is a white bike, but you know, it's very, very blue in this, and it's a stylized look. And if we play it through there, you know, I do like the look of that. But like I said, my LUT is not quite 100% there. I feel like this bike is a little dark. So what we're gonna do, again, I'm just going to do this quick and dirty, guys. I don't want to boost the overall, but what I want to do is maybe lift the shadows a bit. Bring some contrast back into it. Just a little bit. Okay. So there we go. You know, I just made some small tweaks to it. But I like the way that it looks. So there are LUTs out there for every camera. This is one for the GH5. And I'll share with you guys where I got all these. But yeah, GH5 Vlog coming from this to this with a LUT and a few additional adjustments. So let's go back. We're going to keep on moving through. I got one more camera example. Now this is old school, guys. Actually, if you guys from The Forge are still in the live show, you're going to recognize this shot here. This is from our film, how many years ago was it? 2 years ago? But C'est la Guerre, our little World War II short. Connie Mosmack here. I'm sure she would be Maybe not, who knows. But so we have this little scene. This is shot on the 5D Mark III. Okay, so this is the 5D Mark III with the Technicolor CineStyle profile installed, which it makes it a little bit flat. It's not a true log format, but it was the closest you can get if you want to do some color grading. And as you go in here, this was also recorded onto a Ninja 2 from Atomos. I think I still have that thing lying around. But anyway, that's not important. But, you know, we've got this shot here. It goes over, racks our focus to our soldiers coming in. And yeah. So let's play with some color, guys. So let's go in here and let's see what kind of LUTs we got. So here we go. I have my shot here. Let's go ahead and see what kind of LUTs I have lying around here. So looks and LUTs, Canon. Here we go. CineStyle. One of the nice things about CineStyle is, well, it's free, but it also comes with LUTs to sort of convert it to, you know, close to Rec 709. So let's go ahead and put the S curve for CineStyle. Let me make sure I don't have anything else here. Yeah, S curve for CineStyle. That'll work. Boom. Now that really boomified this shot here. I mean, look at that. You know, it does lose some detail in here, and you can see a lot of this stuff is now a bit too dark. While it does look good overall, the LUT can't do 100%. It can't get it right because it's just a set of instructions. So you need to give it a little bit of love. So what I want to do here is I actually want to boost my exposure just a bit. I definitely want to raise the blacks. No, let's play with the shadows here. I want to open up my shadows a little bit. There we go. Now we're getting some of this stuff in her coat here. This is going to be a tricky shot because right now it looks good for her, but let's see if it looks good for the soldiers. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not terrible. So let's see, guys. Actually, one thing that I do want to show you as well is that in this color panel, I've been doing just the basics, but now that I've got it sort of corrected, so basically it's looking true to life, you can also go and get creative. So you can stack LUTs. So, you know, we can go ahead, let's see what we got here. You know, ooh, wow, these are crazy. So these are some of the internal ones from Adobe. So let's give it a Fuji sort of film look there. There we go. Oh, that's cool. So now these LUTs are stacked and it looks like it was shot on Fuji film stock. So let's see here. I'm sure the computer's not too happy about all the color processing it's having to do here. But yeah, you know, that's a cool kind of look. It's a little grainy, although that may just be the 5D. But it looks nice. And you know, that's not necessarily the final look that we went with for this film, but this is a way to take it and a way to use it, use LUTs to get that sort of custom look there. So let's dip out of Premiere here. We do not need it anymore. We will come back here to our chat. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, The Forge, you guys were still around. Love seeing C'est la guerre. Yes, like I said, that World War II film was one that I was the DP on or with my buddies over at the Forge Studios. So yeah, C'est la guerre. I had to pull out that footage. I was happy to bring that back up. But yeah, so you guys should look that up. Go ahead. It's called C'est la guerre. You can see here the spelling right here, and go ahead and look that up from the Forge Studios. It's a cool little short that we shot, guys. But so there you go. So what have we learned here? We've learned that, you know, LUTs they're extremely useful. They are available for almost every camera imaginable, and also every like shooting format or you know, picture profile within those cameras. And they can do color correction, meaning getting it just to look true to life, so moving it away from that log footage and making it look actually like it looked to your eye. But also they can be used creatively, you know, like I did with that GH5 footage. That's not the way it looked, but that's a stylized look that LUT gave me. And so they allow you to do creative things like that too and get an overall look and style. They are not a one-click solution and should not be used as a one-click solution. I know it's so tempting to just fly through and drop LUTs and just one for the whole project and let it run through. But your shots are really going to suffer because they're probably not going to match unless you shot them like identically, which would be amazing. But you know, every shot is different. What you want out of the shot is going to be different, and so you need to make sure that you're still putting your creative juices into it and making it and molding it into what you need. So these LUTs have been created by tons of different people out there and tons of different companies out there, and it's sort of their vision of what the footage is going to look like, and you need to make it your vision. And you can even make your own LUTs. I haven't done it, so I'm not going to even pretend to know what's involved with that. But you can make your own LUTs, stuff like DaVinci Resolve, and I believe there's actually a few websites and stuff where you can go in and actually create 3D LUTs and stuff too. Maybe that'll be something for another show. If I ever end up making my own LUT pack, I'll definitely show you guys my process, and it'll be a learning experience for me too, because I've never done it. So like I said, guys, I have a ton of LUTs, and I just want to show you. You saw quite a bit of it as I was going through there. But I have all these LUTs that I've collected over the years from all over the internet and beyond. So I've got them all organized. I've done this organization all myself, but you know, there's stuff for Arri from different companies. Triune, that's the Film Riot guys. They got some great stuff. Blackmagic, you know, I've got stuff from Daniel Peters, Ground Control, Newman Films, Tom Antos, Canon. I've got C-Log. I've got all sorts of stuff. DJI, you know, I've got stuff for my my drones, my Phantom 4. GoPro, you know, tons of GoPro LUTs from different people. This is a big, like, professional LUT pack. This one drives me nuts, actually, because it has hundreds and hundreds. I don't even know how you would navigate through it. It's insane. Panasonic, you know, I've curated some good ones now that I've got the GH5. Red, you know, here's some stuff from Red, or for Red, rather. Sony. A lot of different stuff, some stuff for Film Convert. Film Convert is an awesome program, but I'm not going to cover that today. But S-Log3 stuff and Sony looks. And then there are some here that are universal, meaning you can apply them to pretty much any footage that you want, and it'll start giving it sort of a stylized look. And of course, you're going to have to tweak it. You know, it's not going to work perfectly on every single camera, but for the most part, these you can apply to any footage and start getting a kind of look to it. So let's go ahead here. DevoCut, hey Devin, how you doing? Yeah, it is so many LUTs. I wasn't kidding when I said I've gone insane and have been hoarding these things over the years. But the good news is that I've weeded through most of the stuff that's out there, and so in a moment I'm going to show you guys what I think the best ones are, so you don't have to go and do all this years of collecting that I've done. But one thing I do want to share with you guys, the nice thing is that LUT files are just data files, so they're small. They don't take up a ton of space. So I have all of those LUTs saved on my system, so let me go ahead and show you that again. Let's pull up this screen. So I have all of these saved on my system here locally. But what I also do is I have my Dropbox, and I have a duplicate of that right here in my Dropbox. And what that means and what that allows me to do is I'm on the road a lot, and you know, I'm traveling and I'm shooting, and sometimes I may have shot something and I just want to get it edited and I want to get it out. I don't want to wait like a week until I get home. But since these are so small, I now have these LUTs synced across all of my devices. My laptop, you know, they're just there because I have my Dropbox folder synced to all the computers, and it takes up minimal space. So that's just a little tip for you guys. You know, they're very small files, so they don't take up a ton of space. So if you do have some that are your favorites, pop them into Dropbox. If you have Dropbox synced across all of your computers, or if you use Google Drive, you know, they're not going to take up any space there either. And then if you're out and you're mobile, you don't have to wait until you get back home to your system that has all your LUTs loaded on it. You've got them with you wherever you go. And it's just the way that I work. I like to be able to have access to absolutely everything, no matter where I am. So it's crazy. So David Zung, hey, thanks for jumping in. You missed some of the demos and stuff like that, but that's cool. You'll be able to check it out during the replay, but I appreciate you popping in, and you're just in time because I'm actually going to start getting to the good part. Well, probably what people think is the good part, and I'm going to show you guys where to get some of these LUTs that I've been using and that I like so much. So let's go ahead and start doing that right now. La-di-da-di-da. So the first one, you guys saw me use this when we were doing some of the grading there live, but let's go here. Oh no, epic fail. All right, well, we're gonna do this differently then. Sorry about that, guys. I had to shut down and relink. So let's try something here. Let's see if I can pull this off. We're gonna go to this. Let's see what I can do here. Bear with me. It wouldn't be a show if I didn't have technical difficulties. No? Okay. Well, here, we're just going to do it this way. Still works. I was trying to be fancy and pull up just a dedicated Safari window, but you know what? We're just going to do it the way that it works. So here we go. So the first one, you guys saw me use this on that Ursa Mini footage in there, is Tom Antos. Now, Tom Antos has been doing videos on YouTube for forever. He is awesome. I got to meet him a few times at NAB. My friends over with Gear Jones have actually done some collaborations with him and stuff, and he's an absolute beast. He does tons and tons of stuff. I don't know how this guy has any life outside of it, but he has his whole website also in addition to his YouTube channel, and he's got tons of downloads and lots of stuff on there, and he has made some of my favorite LUTs. So here you go, you know, he's got available film stock LUTs that you can go ahead and you can get. And most of his stuff is all free too, so that's amazing. So he's got the film stock LUTs. He's got that LUT that I use for the Ursa Mini 4.6K. He's got a LUT for the Panasonic, the Vlog L to Rec 709, you know, specifically for like the GH5 and stuff like there. So go ahead and check out Tom Antos' website. I'll put a link in the description down below for you guys so that you can go and check this out. But definitely grab his stuff. It's free and I use it so much. And before we get into the next one, actually, there's one thing that I forgot to mention. I want to bring this back here. LUTs can also be used in camera sometimes. So the GH5 is one camera that actually you can load a specific type of LUT into it, and then you can actually use it for monitoring. So it's not actually being baked into the footage. You're still shooting log footage, but on your screen you're seeing it with the LUT applied. So it sort of gives you an idea of what your footage is going to look like after you do some color grading. And it's really great if you have nitpicky clients who want to see a monitor. They see really flat footage, they're going to be like, this looks terrible, why are we paying you? So having LUTs that you can load either into the camera or into a monitor, you know, monitors like the Atomos Shogun and a lot of others can also take LUTs. So be sure to check that out. And the reason I'm bringing this up, let me go back here to this screen. So the reason that I'm bringing that up is if we go into Panasonic here with my LUTs, so Tom Antos GH5. So here he has his just GH5 basic LUT that I absolutely love, but here he's got, see, it's a .vlt file. That's actually the LUT that you load into the GH5. That's the file type that the camera itself takes and allows you to monitor with this LUT applied. So he gives you both of those. And actually Newman Films, we're going to get to them too, but look, they have a series of in-camera LUTs. So for each of their LUTs that you use in post-production, they also give you an in-camera one, which is freaking great because it allows you to monitor. And those are specifically for the GH5. It takes that file type. But most monitors and stuff like the Shoguns and whatnot definitely you can load in any of these types of LUTs and monitor however you like for whatever you're shooting. So let's see what we've got here. New Life, welcome. You're using Canon 80, I'm assuming 80D. Which picture file or picture profile to use for color grading? That's a good question. I've never shot, well, have I? No, I've shot on the 70D, but I've never shot on the 80D. What I would look at, because I'm not familiar with what picture profiles are actually in that one, is go and look up Technicolor CineStyle and see if that can be downloaded. It's free. And it's a picture profile that you can add to the camera. It's 100% free. I've done it on my Canon 5D Mark III, which is some of the stuff I was showing earlier. It's not true log, but it is a very desaturated, wide dynamic range kind of footage, and then you'll get some good looks out of it. So that would be, just not knowing the camera and what profiles are in there, that would be my suggestion, is to look and see if you can put Technicolor CineStyle on it. Sorry, I don't know more for you. Okay, so let's get back into sharing all the goodies that I have curated over the years. So yeah, Tom Antos, big thumbs up. He's done an amazing job. So let's go over to the next one that I use. So this is another guy, so Daniel Peters, I don't know if you guys know him or not. He has an awesome YouTube channel. He's a cinematographer based in London, and he does some amazing work. Haven't got to meet him. I think we've like just missed each other at NAB in the past. Would love to meet him. So Daniel, if you do at some point see this show, I'd love to meet you. But he makes some awesome LUTs, and he has a very unique sort of style to his footage and the way he likes it to look. So he's got some really good ones here. But if you look, here's his website, and again, I'll put the link below, but he's got stuff for iPhones, for, you know, all the DJIs, for Panasonic, Sony, Blackmagic, Canon. He's got tons. So, hey, there you go, Kai. And we go through here. So yeah, guys, he's just got so much, and they're great. You know, he's got some that like emulate some of that like film look, and stuff like that, you know, like Fujifilm and all that. So he's got really great stuff. Now these are not free, but they are cheap. I think they're like £5 that he sells them for, and you get these LUT packs, and they've got everything in there. And the nice thing is, whenever he updates it, if you know something's wrong with one of the LUTs and he wants to tweak it a little bit, you get an email and it's a free update. You know, so you don't have to worry about it. So Daniel Peters got some awesome LUTs. These are the ones that I use probably the most after Tom Antos. So make sure to check him out. Let's go ahead and check on our chat here. So what do we got here? Let's see here. All right, New Life says thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, man. And if CineStyle isn't available for your 80D, leave a comment below after this video is wrapped up and posts, and let me know. And I'll try and do some research for you and figure out what would be the best for the 80D. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the camera, so that's just all I can do. But I will look into it for you if that CineStyle doesn't work out. What else we got here? Oh no, I missed part of the live show. Great channel. Thanks for sharing. Greetings from Argentina. Awesome, awesome. Argentina, fantastic. Never been to Argentina. Been to Brazil, but Argentina, that sounds cool. Thank you very much for joining and tuning in, and I'm glad that you like the channel and you're able to hang out and join us here. So we are moving right along. I've got 2 more sources that I want to show you guys that I use quite often. So let's go ahead and get in here. Okay, so Daniel Peters, we covered him, awesome stuff. Now let's go over to Mr. Luke Newman with Newman Films, another great YouTube channel that I have followed for years. He does some really, really high-end, amazing stuff. And, you know, he puts together all of these things. He's got music and all sorts of stuff available on his store. But we're gonna focus on the LUTs. So I've got his color grading store up here, and so he's got, you know, GoPro for aerials, or GoPro for aerials, but he's got all of these different packs for all these different things. S-Log 2 LUTs. One that I have of his that I really like is the Blockbuster LUTs. So they've got these here, and he's got looks you can install. So he's got all these packs and everything. let's see, what Lumix GH5 LUTs. This is one that I purchased. That's where we got that Brownie Man sort of crazy look on that GH5 shot that we graded. And so it's this is a good one. And so you can see these are for pay. You know, you have to purchase these, but you know, if you like the look of some of these, then they're definitely worth the money. And he gives you a lot in each of these. So they're very awesome. I would check Luke Newman at newmanfilms.net. They've got some great stuff there. So I saw something come in here in the chat. David says, be careful not to accidentally bake your GH5 LUT into your Ninja or Shogun Inferno. I did it once by mistake. Yeah, that is something to be careful of. So what David is referring to is when you're monitoring your LUT in camera, your camera is recording just your log footage. But if you are using an external recorder, like in Atomos, you want to make sure that you're not sending that LUT out over the HDMI, because the cameras also have the ability to send that LUT downstream. Say you had like another monitor or something, but those recorders record whatever is coming off of the HDMI. So if there's a LUT on there, it's getting recorded. So hopefully that's the look you were going for, because that's the look you got. So I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, David. I have made mistakes with sending menu overlays and stuff out to a recorder, and it's never fun. But I mean, adding a LUT, I guess that's not as bad as having menu items on there. But yes, that is something to be careful of. Make sure that whatever you're sending to your recorder is plain, no LUT on there. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna start bringing it home here with our last one. So this is a site that I have been visiting for years, and it's called Ground Control Color. It's this guy. His name's Casey Ferris. He has a YouTube channel. I encourage you to go check it out, because he does a lot of tutorials in like Resolve and all that stuff, and he gets into some training. And actually, I may look into his training. Look, he's got a training tab right up here. May look into his training if I really want to start diving into DaVinci Resolve. But anyway, this guy has been making LUT packs for years. The first ones I got were for the GoPro long ago, when like the GoPro was like the nicest camera that I had. But you know, he's got drone LUTs here, all these different series. So I think I have all of these actually. This is like an overall one. This one has sort of warmer tone ones. This one has cooler tone ones. But he's got great ones. So he's got drone LUTs, GoPro LUTs. Here you go. These are the ones I started with, the Hang Time LUT pack here. Blackmagic LUTs. I'm pretty sure I actually have these as well. Starting to realize how much money I've spent on these. Whoops. Some stylistic ones that work. Look, he says here, work on any Rec 709 image. So that means you can apply these to any camera's footage, and you know, it doesn't have to be log footage. It's gonna come out and give you some stylized looks. Camera specific LUTs, you know, he's got all these things. So a lot of these are duplicates of upstairs. He's just upstairs from up here, but he's just helping to organize it so that you can really find what you're looking for. I mean, look back to like the GH3, awesome stuff. So make sure to check out Ground Control Color. Actually, let's go straight to the site, because not just for his LUTs, but like I said, he has this this color training and stuff that actually I'm kind of interested in myself. So I'll go and check that out. So obviously, guys, I'm not sponsored or partnered with or in cahoots with any of those guys that I just mentioned, whether it be, you know, Tom Antos, Daniel Peters, Luke Newman, and Casey Ferris over at Ground Control Color. They're just guys that I followed and that I found their LUTs, and I really, really like them. I think they've put out some high quality stuff. They put a lot of work into putting them together, and so you've got everything that you need. You know, whether it be LUTs that actually go into the camera, like the GH5 LUTs and stuff, they take care of all that. So if you're interested in starting to collect LUTs, you don't have to go as insane as I did with all of this insanity. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in here. You don't have to go that crazy with it, and I would encourage you actually not to go that crazy with it. But these are the ones that I would suggest looking at first. And like I said, maybe in the future, if I somehow, you know, teach myself how to, maybe learn some stuff, learn some DaVinci Resolve, and if I find some time, that's the real kicker, who has time, maybe I'll look into making my own LUT packs and putting them out there for you guys. So let me know if that's something you would be interested in. So I think that's all I had on the official schedule. If there was a schedule or plan for this. There is. Like, I wrote stuff on a paper, so that, I guess, counts. So that's about everything that I had there. So I'm going to open it up to you guys. I know we've got a few people hanging out, but if any of you have any questions or comments about anything, you know, if you have questions about something with LUTs that we went over, and, you know, I'll be happy to answer those. Questions about color grading in general, questions about cameras, questions about whatever you would like. I'm down to hang out with you guys for a few more minutes and see if anybody has anything. So if you do want to even just say hello or anything like that, feel free to pop it in the chat. You'll appear here on the screen, and we can dive into whatever you guys would like to look into. But yeah, in terms of LUTs, I think we pretty much covered it. So there's a lot you can do with LUTs. There's you know, tons of ways to use them. I love using them for monitoring because shooting flat and viewing flat footage makes it really difficult to expose, and it's just, you know, having those LUTs that you can use in camera for monitoring purposes, and especially if it's the same LUT that you think you're going to end up applying in post, you're really getting an eye for what your footage is going to look like, and so that's pretty cool. So what do we got here? Let's see. David Zung, are you on an official broadcast schedule, or do we just catch you as whenever you happen to be around? Are you referring to this show? So this show actually does have a schedule. I go live every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think there's been maybe one that I've missed since I've started doing these, but that's because I was traveling and I was working that day on a shoot, and there was no way that I could pop out. Sometimes I do them here in my little home studio setup, and sometimes I do them on location wherever I may be, whatever I'm doing, and I just do them from my phone, but always 1 o'clock. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell, and you should get alerts whenever I go live. And like I said, it's going to be Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm really trying to stick to that and make sure that we have weekly content coming out and all that kind of stuff. And I like hanging out and interacting with you guys. Also, if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter and on Facebook, Bart Johnson Productions on Facebook, I do have posts that go up an hour before the show, letting you know that it's happening and with a link, and also 15 minutes before the show, letting you guys know that, hey, get your questions ready and come on over and hang out. So there you go. Long answer to a short question, I guess. Let's see what we got here. Devin, Devo Cut there. Have I ever used a Transformers blue and orange style? Actually, I've never used it in like a finished product, but I do have some LUTs that actually do that. Let me show you. Oh, where is it? Okay. I'm gonna pull this up. Newman Films actually has a great one in their Blockbuster one. Okay, so I want to show you guys this. So in their Blockbuster LUTs, which one is it? So here's one. Here's the preview of it. They have one called Man of Teal that does sort of that that orange and teal kind of look. What's the other one? Monsters and Robots. This one really gets there. So sort of a Pacific Rim Transformers kind of one there. And it's nice that Luke Newman makes these demos where you can see kind of what the color grade is. And let me see if I still got it here. So here we go, Devin. We'll go back to this. This was just an example that I did here, but this shot here, this is a highly stylized one. I would probably never actually use it like that. Actually, I think I did. I think I'm lying to you. I think I have used it because here is sort of that teal and orange, that Michael Bay-ish complementary contrasting colors kind of deal there. So yes, I guess I have used it. And if you like that look, there's tons of LUTs available out there that can give you that look and can get you there. Whether you're a fan of it or not a fan of it, they exist and they're out there. So let's see here, David. Oh, you have my IBIS focal length conversion charts for GH5 and Metabones. It has saved my life. Awesome. That's what I want. I want to make sure that I put stuff out there that's useful for people. And what David is referring to is the GH5 has in-body stabilization, and so it can stabilize full manual lenses, but when you adapt lenses to it that are full manual, it asks you what the input is because it needs to know the focal length of the lens to properly stabilize it. And so I made a video, and I'll put a card up for that video so you guys can check it out. And along with that video, I put out a chart that I compiled that tells you all of the focal lengths that you need to input. It tells you the effective focal lengths of the lenses on the crop. And also when you throw speed boosters and focal reducers into the mix, it also shows you what to input there and how the lens is going to behave. So David, I'm glad that you got use out of that. Makes me happy to know that the fruits of my labor are actually helping people, and so awesome. I appreciate it. Devin, have I ever thought of getting a tangent ripple? What is a tangent ripple? I don't know that. So yeah, fill me in. Let me know. Let me know what that is. I'm not sure what it is. But guys, real quick here, what I want to do is, like I was saying a little bit earlier, this show is on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday. Sometimes I'm here in my little office, and sometimes I'm in another location because I'm crazy and I'm all over the place. But next week, Saturday, 1 p.m., we're going to have a little bit of a different style show, and we're actually going to be in my backyard for it. And I will show you why. We are going to be doing a barbecue&A, Ask Me Anything. So I guess it was last week's show. I tried doing a Q&A, and unfortunately YouTube sort of changed the way that going live from the phone works, and I couldn't see any of the comments coming through. So I was told that people were asking questions, and basically it was just 15 minutes of me just freeform talking because I didn't think anybody was there. So I apologize to anybody who may have asked questions during that, but we're gonna do it again. And I'm gonna make sure that I can see the questions. And so like I said, this is a barbecue&A because my friends are having our Friendsgiving party later that day, and I once again am in charge of the turkey. And I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Facebook or anything like that, but my other passion besides filmmaking is barbecuing. So I am going to be smoking another turkey. Gotta get it picked up this next week and get that thing all ready. But I will be in the process of smoking the turkey when I go live with you guys, so we can answer some questions, we can talk some filmmaking stuff, and I can show you guys my my delicious bird that we will be cooking and enjoying. So, so let's see here. Devin says it's the cheapest color correcting interface, works with Lumetri and Resolve. So Tangent Ripple, I'll have to check that out. Thanks for letting me know. So guys, Devin says that Tangent Ripple is something to check out, and it's an interface for working with Resolve and Premiere. Cool. So I will I'll go ahead and have a look into that. Let's see what else we got. David, you always try to listen to what I have to say. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try and make sure that it's all worth listening to. And let's see here. David says, I don't see the listing for the links to LUTs you mentioned below. Yeah, that's my bad. They're not in there yet. I will put them in there immediately as soon as the show finishes. I like to hold off until right before the show to put the links in there so that there's a reason for people to tune into the show as opposed to just going to the description and getting all the information and then just saying, oh, now I don't need to watch. Maybe I'm a little paranoid. I don't know. But I was getting everything set up and I forgot to put the links in there. So as soon as this broadcast is over, I promise you I will put these direct links down in the description so that you'll be able to click right over to them. So if you can hold off just a little bit, I promise we'll get those to you. Lucas says, it seems you burned the poor turkey. Man, I did not burn the turkey. Let's take a look at this. And people have said this before, and I will defend it to the death. So, yes, it looks burnt, but it's not burnt. It's actually, since it's smoked at about 300 degrees for like 4 hours. So that is actually delicious, delicious, crusty, crispy skin. It's not charred, it's not burnt, and inside it was moist and buttery and delicious and everything. So it's not burnt, I promise. It was amazing. And actually it was so amazing that that my friends have now basically tasked me. Basically I have to make the turkey for Friendsgiving every year. So tune in and see how I make this turkey, because apparently it's good enough. It's good enough that I'm obligated to do this basically until I die. So there you go. In Argentina, you bring a turkey like that to the table and they all look at you kind of funny. Fair enough, fair enough. But I didn't serve it like that. It was carved up and sliced, and man, it looked good. I promise you, I promise you. But I'll tune in next week and I'll show you the turkey and all that stuff, and it'll be good. So we'll talk some barbecue, we'll talk some smoking, and we'll talk some filmmaking. It'll basically be everything that I find most important in life, all in one show. So it'll be worth tuning in next week. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing this one to a close. We are getting to just about that hour mark. I really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me today. This has been great. Hope you got some good information on LUTs. Hope if you had any questions, I was able to answer them, you know, and help you out there. If you guys do have any questions that pop up into your mind after this live is over, please feel free to post them down in the comments below. Or if you are watching the replay of this and you missed us live, first of all, sorry we missed you. But go ahead and pop a comment down there. I do read and respond to every single comment that pops up on my videos on my YouTube channel. And that's no lie, I really do. So if you do have any other questions, go ahead and pop them in there. And of course, make sure guys to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got tons and tons of other content out there. This week alone, I think I pushed out like 4 videos. I was just absolutely crushing it and didn't want to wait. So I've got gear reviews, I've got tips, I've got all sorts of stuff. So, you know, look through it all and see if there's something there for you. And if there's something that you want to see, let me know. And I'm open to it and I'll do it. So guys, I think I'm going to wrap this one up officially right here. Thank you very much. Join me again next week, Saturday, 1 p.m. I'll be smoking a turkey in my backyard, and we will do some barbecue and clever. See what I did there? All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week.